So I'll be honest, I don't even know why I pressed record, but I feel something coming up. And so I'm just going to let spirit channel through me. If you are here, you probably feel what I'm feeling, this kind of intense surge of energy, almost like I'm just seeing like the fire horse ready to run. It's like that moment before the race starts, before the gun shoots off. And it's kind of like that feeling of anticipation coming up. Like I know something is coming up. I don't know what. There's also this sense of anxiety that's been coming up for me, and I know for the collective. After the Lionsgate portal, it's almost like it unleashed a beast in us, and we don't know what to do with that surge of energy quite yet. But I'm hearing that we are you are misinterpreting your excitement as fear. So, Spirit wants you to see kind of the nerves that are going through, that are moving through the body, the anxiety, as this isn't fear, this is misinterpreted excitement. Because what's coming up for you is a drastic shift in how you are presenting yourself to the world and who you are embodying. These blockages around, I'm hearing around communication, around how you express yourself, around how you show up in the world are being broken down. Like I'm seeing like Jericho's wall breaking down. Hmm. This feeling of kind of antsiness is your body's way of trying to interpret the energetic shifts that are happening. I'm hearing this is planetary. This is cosmic. There's something extraterrestrial that has been causing this energetic shift, and it's not just you. This is on a planetary level. And the shift that is happening has to do with cell regeneration, I'm hearing, DNA upgrades, and becoming a new being. Wasn't expecting any of this. Okay. Just sitting here doing my makeup, and like Spirit's like, hey, put on, get to recording because I got some shit I need to say. So DNA upgrades, cell regeneration, deep, deep healing on an ancestral level. And that means as a whole, planetary shifts, planetary healing. We are rewriting the stories of pessimism and shifting into a childlike state of being, a childlike way of seeing life, about going about our own lives. The fairies are coming through. They're very prevalent right now. They've been trying to emphasize that life is not that deep. We're making it deeper than it is, right? We are the creators, so why are we afraid of what we're creating, they're saying. If you are the creator, why are you afraid of yourself? Because if you're afraid of anything you're seeing externally, it's really just a projection of your fear of yourself. So where are you not meeting yourself? What are you afraid to look at within yourself? What do you believe it will cause you to fall into, I'm hearing, and fall? I'm hearing to go into a meditation where you are literally picturing yourself at the edge of a cliff, feeling that hesitation. There's this 1 foot in, 1 foot out energy going on. Feeling the hesitation of not wanting to jump out of fear, but knowing that it's the only next step. It's the step that needs to be taken in order for you to expand and to move forward. The only way out is through. And feeling yourself battling with that hesitation, with those two polarizing energies, And then when you feel your body is ready, it doesn't matter how long this meditation takes, I'm hearing. Let it take however long it needs to take. But when your body is ready, let it jump. Let it surrender. Let it fall. Without any expectation of what's going to pick you up, of what's going to stop your fall, and see what happens. And this almost seems like a twisted, all right, well, jump and see what happens, kind of a twisted way of looking at things. But Spirit is saying this is the act of life. In every moment, in every step that you are taking, it is a leap of faith. Showing up to each day is an act of bravery and courage. And the more that we do it, the more trust that we build with ourselves. Well, with ourselves, because if everything is reflecting back to us our inner state, then really it's just learning how to trust ourselves. And so when you jump, not needing to know how you're going to be lifted, how you're going to be cushioned at the end of the fall, but trusting in yourself, in your own journey, that you will. This is a mark of confidence, of empowerment. There's been an emphasis on the solar plexus lately. The solar plexus and the sacral are asking you to reconnect with them fearlessly, boldly. And I just keep seeing orange and yellow, like the lion, that fire, the fire horse. I had a dream recently that I was with a stallion. The stallion was like my friend, but in a stallion's body. And we came across this white tiger. And I asked my higher self after the dream, what does the tiger represent? And my higher self said, the white tiger represents hypervigilance. And the stallion that I was with, my friend, I was planning on running in a different direction to get away from it and to just try to avoid the stallion altogether, or the white tiger altogether. Sorry. And my friend instead decided that the best way to go about it would be to chase the white tiger. And I remember thinking in my dream, okay, well, maybe that's the right way to do it. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe this is the brave way to go about the situation, because then you're intimidating the tiger. And I'm just kind of observing the situation. There wasn't any fear involved watching it happen. I was just kind of observing it. And then I noticed after a while of my stallion friend chasing this tiger that they were just going in circles, and the tiger starts to turn around and become aware of the fact that they're just going in circles, starts to combat my stallion friend. And then the tiger looks over at me. And at that point, whatever I was in this moment, I'm not aware of what form I took, but I turned into a stallion myself. And I instantly ran for the hills. And when I was running, there were all sorts of obstacles in front of me. And it was almost like they didn't exist. Like I was just running right through them. Even though there were very many buildings, trees, things seemingly in my way, I didn't feel them, they didn't affect me, and I just ran. And something that this dream taught me was that chasing after the very thing that we do not want to see more of, thinking that it gives us a sense of control, is actually just keeping us in the loop, keeping us stuck in the loop that we are trying to break. And there was a sense of shame that I felt for not being a part of that game, for wanting to run in the opposite direction. Instantly, what came up was, oh, I'm just being a chicken. I'm just being a coward. And my friend must know, they must be really brave to be doing what they're doing, and they must know that this is the right way to go about it. But then when I saw that they were entrapping themselves in this cycle, getting stuck in this loop with this white tiger, and then the tiger starts to recognize, oh wait, I'm your predator, you're not my predator. And now all of a sudden my stallion friend is like stuck in the middle of this situation that he put himself in, because we could have worked our way around, gone in the opposite direction. And so Spirit is emphasizing through this symbolism that while the rest of the world is experiencing one thing and deeming certain things as normal, hustle culture is coming to mind. Hustle culture, working hard, proving yourself, the idea of success in this one specific type of, through this one specific type of lens, and anything else that is draining to our vitality, masking, trying to force things in our lives that don't feel aligned and right because everyone else is doing it, because it seems like that's what's right according to the world, but it doesn't feel right within us. To simply observe these situations instead of shaming ourselves for not conforming, validating our own personal inner voice, observing the situation, and then following our intuition, going in the direction that we know we're being called in, even if it looks illogical, even if the world is trying to impose their beliefs and their ideas onto us, even if we're being alienated for the way that we're choosing to see things, the choices that we're choosing to make, to keep going. And when we go in our own direction, instead of actively pulling ourselves back into the 3D and into all the problems, we are actually surpassing all of the obstacles that the world deems as normal to have to go through, when really we are beyond them. Another download that I've been getting recently is there are no problems. There are only ever solutions. Problems are just illusions. And when we think of this as a way of going about our entire lives, right? Something comes up that scares us. We don't know how we're going to deal with it. We don't know how we're going to go about the situation. We try to think of every way to try to fix the problem. We end up trapping ourselves within the loop and creating more of a problem where it never needed to be interpreted as a problem to begin with. And when we choose to interpret this as this isn't a problem, what is this teaching me? Recognizing that there are only ever solutions because we live in a vast universe with vast potentials. And then all of a sudden, we're able to see the solutions because our judgment isn't clouded by the ego's need to solve a problem or to figure everything out. And we're able to surrender to our higher knowing, which has access to all the answers that we need at any given moment. The higher self is always going to lead you to the path of least resistance. And that doesn't mean to not challenge us, because challenge is another reason why we came here. Challenges are usually us choosing to face certain fears for the sake of our calling, choosing to go in a direction that might not seem super easy, but is going to be worth it for the sake of love. But what I mean by the path of least resistance is when there is a route to swim, to let the river take you with it. And instead, you feel like you need to swim upstream for the sake of proving yourself. You're only causing yourself more suffering, and you're going against the flow of nature. So, Spirit wants to emphasize there's nothing noble about suffering. We are resilient, we are powerful, and a lot of times what we view as problems are illusions of how we are choosing to perceive a certain situation. And the solution is just as accessible to us as the illusion of the problem. And surrendering to that solution, surrendering to the higher mind's knowing, instead of feeling the need to figure it all out and to solve this problem and to get caught in the loop and to make the problem worse by focusing on it, by giving it all of our attention, because what we focus on amplifies. Surrendering to the higher mind's knowing that already has access to the solution. The solution already exists in the field, and we just need to be willing to surrender to it in order to access it. And in order to access the solution, we need to believe that there was never a problem to begin with. If there is a seeming problem, there is the opposite of that problem. Everything has its opposite. So there's nothing to be afraid of when everything is just showing us more about what we desire and is leading us back to truth. So every illusory event or circumstance is really just pointing us to truth by showing us where we are misaligned so that we can get realigned. Even the lowest of vibrations are love's call back home. Even anger is love's call to be seen. It's love's boundary being revealed. So Spirit wants to emphasize, don't demonize your intuition. When you have that inner voice coming through and it differs from society's expectations, from the general logical way of looking at things, validate this, because this is truth. Everything else is simply the illusion. So to give into the illusion and to call it intelligence, we are gravely mistaken. But to give into the truth and to call it delusion, we are also gravely mistaken in this. Where are you still believing that your desires are just delusion and not recognizing that your desires are actually the calling toward your truth, toward the truth of what you already are? And where are you still believing that to choose to harp on a problem, to worry, to give all of your beautiful psychological energy to anxiety and to control makes you intelligent and honorable? It's not your fault. We all do it. And it comes from our cultural upbringing. But Spirit wanted me to come on today to share with you that if there is something that you know you're meant to lean into, but your logical brain, meaning your anxious brain, your ego, is trying to stop you from leaning into, is trying to be the crab in the bucket that's yanking you back down to its level, to go anyway, to run in the direction of what you know your soul is calling you into. And any seeming obstacles are going to disappear before your eyes. Because the more that we surrender to our soul's knowing, our higher mind's knowing, and go with the flow of life, things align easily and effortlessly. The river guides us to where we're meant to be, to our destinations. Don't be afraid, or be afraid, but keep going. You're allowed to be afraid. You're allowed to feel all the things you're feeling, and you're allowed to observe what everyone else is doing, what your ego wants to do, what your brain is convinced you is the right thing to do. And you're also being called into something bigger. And you might not be able to see what that looks like on the other side of this yet. But just know that everything is in divine order to work out in your favor. Maybe this is the confirmation that you needed. I'm with you. I'm sending you so much love. You are brave. You have made it this far for a reason. Your resilience is astounding. Don't forget who you are and keep going. Do it afraid. Do it anyway. The world needs to see your light. You have something worthy of being seen that the world needs. I love you. I'm with you in this. If you would like any extra support, I offer $22 mini readings. You can find that in the link in my description. And I love you, and I'm here with you. Take care, my loves.